Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. This is your transfer show. Hello everyone and welcome to the Man United Agenda. This is your transfer show on Friday night, and what a night to be. This is called Sent Sancho Friday. So guys, welcome everyone, and as always we've got Mr. B, we've got Monday, we've got Monzi, and as always special guests each and every 2 weeks, Francis. Welcome back, Francis.
No, my pleasure.
So guys, third biggest transfer record at Man United. Jadon Sancho just signed a 5-year contract. I never thought I would ever say this, but the board have done a terrific job in signing this player. This is one of the signings that we need at Manchester United. So, Jadon Sancho, 73 million, 5-year deal. He's made 50. He scored 50 goals and 57 assists in 137 appearances. Now, is that what we've been missing on Monday at Man United?
Yeah, totally. I'm over the moon, just like you, Solo. This player is someone who's like one of the most exciting players on the planet Earth right now for his age group as well. So to have him in at Manchester United, for me, just fills me with so much excitement. I'm just can't wait for the season to kick off. And considering we've got Rashford out as well, he's just going to slot in like a duck to water, I imagine, you know. And what he brings to us, I think, is something different to what we had last year. We were struggling to break teams down, and he's just like the perfect formula. He's like the perfect formula to solve all our problems and get me off Ollie's back as well, for example, because I think we'd be able to break down teams a lot easier with him on board. He's dribbling, he can drive at guys, he can play from the left, the right. He's just got everything in his locker. And me personally, I think it's the best signing in maybe 10, 15 years for the longevity as well. He's 21. This is like 10 years worth of a player at Man United. So I'm happy about the investment. I can forgive what happened last year. It all went wrong with the transfer. But now that he's here and it's official, let's celebrate tonight, guys. I'm really happy about this. Yeah.
So, Mr. B, it's a player. I think you're optimistic about this, weren't you, to begin with? I'm not sure whether or not you wanted to say, yes, it's going to come, but you'd wait. But I can see you tingling for this transfer to come through. 50 goals and 57 assists in 130. I know it's the Bundesliga, but this league is meant to be the closest to the Premier League. And with that 5-year deal, and watch the intro today with the launch of Jadon Sancho, it made me tingle as well. I'm not going to lie, as a grown-ass man.
I am buzzing. I thought that we had longed it out and I wasn't going to have this feeling once he signed, but we've bought. Yeah, man, he's going to cause trouble, man. He is going to cause trouble. I'm excited to see how he links up with the players that we've got. But Jesus Christ, man, we've got a top Jaya. Money-wise, I still think we should have bought him last season. I'm not really interested in this saving money or blah blah blah. It might have made us closer to Man City last season, but honestly, absolutely delighted, man. This is a player we've got for 10 years. 10 years of class. Oh Lord. Yeah, man, we are gonna cause a lot of trouble with Jadon Sancho in our team.
Francis, with this signing, now, do you think Man United could challenge even closer with Man City, or do you still think we're still a long way away from Man City?
I think if City don't really sign anyone, then obviously they're going to close the gap. You know, it's funny how obviously he left City I believe City had first refusal on him. They don't think he was, worth the fees that obviously Dortmund were flying around. But for me, he's an exciting player. Mondi, hit it on the head. He's very exciting. He's dynamic. He's quick. He's still raw. He's not the finished article by a long way. He's not the diamond, which he can be. But 2 or 3 seasons, I think, especially at United, if he's coached well, I've seen gems in the comments is saying, will Ollie use him in the right way, which is probably the most important question. Will he use him in the right way? Because if a manager does not use a talent in the right way, then it don't work. So for me, for Sancho, I'm glad to see him here. I watched him a lot in the Bundesliga. I know it's the Bundesliga. He plays for one of the best teams there. He's going to get a lot more chances. He's going to create a lot more. Premier League's a bit different. People are a lot more savvy. People will be as quick as him, if not quicker at times. So he's going to have to start maybe a little bit more intelligent than he was at Dortmund. But yeah, as a non-Man United fan, I'm excited to see him here because I first seen him when he was 14 at Watford when I was an agent. And we tried to get him. My company tried to get him at the time. And Arsenal were the favourites to get him from Watford at the time. But then obviously he went to City, etc. And you could see then that he's got this, this dynamic. He can take people on. He's very tricky. It was whether he could implement that in men's football, from 14 to 18 to 19 is a big, big step. But he did. He's obviously gone away and got great education. I would always say to young British players, go abroad, educate yourself in a different manner and come back to the Premier League. And we've seen it so many times that young players do that. And for me, I'm looking forward to see him. I really am looking forward. He's going to have to adjust because the Premier League is a little bit more tougher than the Bundesliga. But yeah, I'm quite positive that he's going to do well.
Thank you. Monzi, now going on to your United fan. You must feel the excitement as well for us at the moment. So what do you think he can bring to Man United, which the club haven't got at the moment in this time?
The number 25 shirt for starters. I'm not like, I don't want to put a downer on it, but I'm excited, yeah, but I'm not, I just hope it ain't like when we signed Di Maria. Do you know what I mean? When Di Maria come, I thought, wow, and then he didn't cut it. I don't think it will be like Di Maria because Di Maria is a snake, but I think he will do well because he's English and he knows Rashford, Shaw. Saying about Shaw and Wan-Bissaka as well. So yeah, I am looking forward to it, but we still need that defender. But yeah, I am looking forward to how it's going forward. Hopefully, he can settle straight in. Yeah, so hopefully it will be what we need. I'm just in the back of my head, I just keep thinking Di Maria. I don't know why. I just keep thinking, is he going to be another Di Maria? I don't think he will. But I just don't. I don't want him. I don't want to get too hyped up just yet. I'm not going to buy his name on my shirt just yet.
With number 25
Can I just ask you a question? Monzi?
What?
How long is it going to take for him to prove to you that he's not a Di Maria?
Season.
Okay.
If he scores the winner at City, then that'll be it. City or Liverpool, I'll love him forever.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, got to throw that one in there.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to put it out there. So Sancho, so this is a record from 2007 to 2018. I'm going to go on in all competition. So Sancho has played 137 games and scored 50, assisted altogether 57. We got Rashford, 200 games and 69 with 35. Martial, which once 67, 53, 25. Green with 105 games, 29 and 8. And Cavani, 114 with 87 and 23 assists. Also with Sancho, he was 10th when it came into all top leagues in 2018, 2019 as well. Monty, I know you said you're not confident and you're not going to be excited about it, but I am absolutely, truly excited about this signing, and especially he's 21 years old, and I think Amonde said it, he has got a good 10 years on him as well, and he's not even close to his peak. And with Francis, you said you watch him close up together. You guys almost signed him for the agents and stuff like that. And Arsenal was the first choice. For you just to say that must mean he is a top player.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got levels. Don't get me wrong. He's still got levels to make him where people are absolutely raving about him, because he's now that it completely changes. He now goes to Man United. The limelight is now on him. At Dortmund, there was no pressure. Now there's pressure. Now this fear will kick into his psychology. Now there's the crowd. Now it's a full house at Old Trafford. Now it's match of the day every Saturday night and everyone's watching you live on Sky Sports. It brings a completely different element to how he's going to perform as a player. Yeah, he's having himself. He's got a little bit of a swag. He's a confident kid. But all it takes is 5, 6, 7 games to go down the pan. And all of a sudden, he could go within his shell. So I'm hoping that they protect him. Man United have got a massive history of protecting, especially when Alex Ferguson was there, of really surrounding their young players to make sure that the outside world doesn't affect them. And this is what he's going to need. He's going to need that. And if they get that right, then yeah, you know, you've got an absolute superstar on your hands. Problem is, you won't have him for 10 years if he's a superstar.
Real Madrid will come calling.
I just want to jump in there. Yeah, I think you have to test someone's character. And what he did at the Euros by stepping up and taking a penalty, that suggests to me that the guy has got big kahunas. He's really rock solid there. Because it takes a lot. You know, I remember Gaza didn't step up in 1990. He bottled it. So and to come to Manchester United as well after being at City, that also says something about his character. I think he's a winner. I don't think there's any doubt about him. He ticks all the boxes in that respect.
Okay, so Armando, can we fly through some comments, please?
Yeah, of course. So good evening, everyone who's tuning in. Just want to say hi to Jem, Big Phil, who done Dr. Phil's surgery the other day. He's probably taking some notes right now on Sancho. So Gemma was saying she was putting out that we spend a lot of money on players. That's what big clubs do. Yeah, and we probably say 4 out of the 5 most expensive Premiership signings have been for Man United. Say hi to Amy. And as Francis was saying, I think we should maybe have a little discussion about this. I also mentioned this as well about Ollie. Can Ollie use him correctly? Because this sort of takes the heat off Ollie a bit, bringing in these signings. But I don't think maybe we've improved. We have to see on the pitch. Have we improved like from last season? You know, to break teams down. Just getting better players in doesn't make the system better. I don't know what you guys think about that. Gemma makes a good point there. Mr. B, can I throw that to you?
That'll be a different show.
I was just going to say, we do not have the time on a half-hour show to go into all of that. So I think that, the best thing to do will just leave the Ollie situation alone. We'll just leave it alone and we'll discuss it closer to the season, or once the season starts, once your head is buzzing and you want to be at everybody, that's when we'll have the show. Until then, we just keep it nice and calm.
So Big Phil's saying here in response to Muncie about Di Maria, he said his mind was always on other clubs. He wasn't really happy here. Maybe the weather, Northwest, it's a bit grim up north.
It didn't help that he got robbed, did it? That was the main thing.
Oh yeah, that's really negative, yeah. Saying hi to Anthony Herbert, one of our Arsenal supporters, who was always joining in the comments. And we spent 73. This from Jacob. He says we spent 73 million on Sancho, but we produced Greenwood for nothing. Yeah, great point.
But throwing that with Jacob there, though, I do believe we need it, because what it is, then that will help Wan-Bissaka going forward a bit more. Because we talk about on here all the time whenever we do like a reaction or preview show, and it's almost he doesn't have the sort of courage to go too forward, because obviously he has to then track back all the time. With this signing now, I believe this will give him a bit of leeway to overlap and going forward to get some crosses in, because though he's a great defender at 1-on-1, I still believe he's got other attribute of crossing, and he has got a final product on him as well. So I think this will help Wan-Bissaka really well.
Even Sancho said that, because Wan-Bissaka's from London as well. So he said, hopefully he'll get to know Wan-Bissaka and hopefully, get a good bond going forward. So yeah, I think that'll help Wan-Bissaka that he's He's a London lad as well.
Brilliant. So, guys, if you're liking the content, please like, please share, please subscribe. And this one now will get Francis motivated, because now we're going to move on to Neves. So, Francis, Neves, 24 years old. Arsenal apparently want him. Man United valuation is 35 million. There's rumours today saying that Paris Saint-Germain might go in for Paul Pogba. Fingers crossed they don't go in for him at all, and he stays. He signed a new contract. But if he went to PSG, I don't know how much we'll get for him. I'm not going to give you a price because I'll be making stories up. But Neves, 35 million. What do you think about this opportunity for Arsenal and Man United to snap him up? And do you think Arsenal have got the money as well to spend on him after the Ben White, and it seems like you signed someone else, and now Neves?
Yeah, well, just like Anthony said, I mean, for me, he's the perfect player to sit in beside Partey. Arteta wants to move the ball around. That's why he's getting rid of certain players. He wants to be Man City 2. He's learned his education through Pep. He can't just go in there and say he tried to play like Man City last year and we got bopped because the players weren't good enough. Neves is a ball playing, very, very good on the ball. We've seen it not last season, the season before for Wolves. He was outstanding with Podence and Neto, etc. And they had the Jimenez as their main focal point. Last year they struggled, and the whole team struggled. So Neves struggled. But for me, I want, as soon as the rumours came out, I've wanted him at Arsenal ever since. People are talking about Basuma. Basuma and Partey, for me, it's like Rice and Phillips. You're going to invite pressure for 45 games. For me, it's not about that. You need a ball-playing player who's going to break the lines and link back to front. We brought Ben White in because none of the other centre-halves are good on the ball. So Ben White will get the ball. He then needs a point of focal in front of him, which will be a Neves. Then he can release the likes of ESR, Pepe, Saka, whoever it may be. Without that link, Arsenal can dream as much as they want about playing football, but then it's not going to happen if they don't get a link. That's why we need Neves. Does not surprise me that Man United want him. Pogba's probably going to be on his bike, and Neves, for me, Neves will dictate the play a lot more than Pogba does, because Neves will sit deep and he will try and spray balls left, right, and centre. So, I mean, for me, I'll be devastated if he obviously goes to United. Because at the minute we're losing signings to Accrington and Stanley at this rate, Arsenal. So it's not a thing. It's not a thing. So for me, if United get him, especially if Varane comes in, Sancho, Neves, João Felix, then boy, that's very close to competing with City, no doubt, very close.
So on Monday, we've been crying out on this show now for a CDM with Neves. Neves can obviously play as a CDM. His preferred foot is right-footed. So appearances on his, in say central midfield, 33 appearances, and he plays an average of 6.9 as a defensive midfield player as well, 17, and plays a 6.9 average rating. 35 million. Pogba leaves. There's no other player, I think, to be honest with you. I always talk about Ndidi and players like that. Ndidi will cost far too much. With this player, this is 24 years old, and this is another 8 years?
Yeah, he's the cheapest option of the selection of options that we have at the moment. We're looking at Saul and a couple of other players. But I like him. We've seen him in the Premiership now. He's proven in the Premiership. But all this CDM thing, I don't think that's important. I just want a player that's comfortable on the ball. As we saw with our midfield last season, we had Fred and McTominay, and I think when you're playing we're playing Champions League football now again. We have to raise the bar. So when we're playing that sort of level, we can't have players who can't rely on their touch or can't keep the ball in tight areas, that kind of thing. So I think he fits the bill. I'm not worried about whether he can tackle or because it's all up here. He can position himself correctly. He plays with Materio. What's that? I'm a little Portuguese.
Moutinho.
Yeah, lovely player. Them two together work so well together. It's just communication, and you can't get beyond them. He's always in position. So I've always liked him. He was never on my radar, but now that he is, and I think about it, I think, it'd be perfect if Pogba does leave or if Pogba does stay. He's a great player to have in, because I keep saying I don't want this tackling anchorman player. I don't think we need that. We just need a talented ball player who can hold at the ball and be comfortable on the ball. And when you rush him, after 5 minutes, you say, I'm not rushing that guy again. You know, that sort of player. And I think Neves fits the bill. He's been like highly touted for a number of years, even when he was at Porto. He was captain at Porto when he was like 18 years old, you know? So to see him to make that transition into the Championship and now into the Premiership, he's a very decent player. I wouldn't say, I don't know if he's got levels to grow. I was looking out for him in the Portugal Euros recently, and he didn't really get much game time, you know. But if he came to Man United, he would be a dead cert starter for Portugal, no doubt about it, because that's what big clubs bring. So I'm happy that we're in for him, and 35 mils is still, if you ask me.
So, Mr. B, please do not swear at me. The next player we're going to talk about, obviously, if Pogba does end up leaving, could he then sort of partner Fred in that in that central role? I know you. No, all jokes aside. No, so Mr. B, bringing this CDM in. I know Armando is saying obviously he's not key, but I honestly believe bringing Veron in, bringing in sort of Jadon Sancho into the club, then you're bringing in a CDM who we desperately need, because then hopefully Ole will then start playing this pivot. So for me, would you agree with this signing at 35 million as well?
Yeah, the price is good. That's the price that Man United want to pay. They've already gone, you know, they've probably saved money on Jadon Sancho, in all fairness. We're in for Varane. We have no idea what that's going to cost, or us as outsiders have no idea what that's going to cost. If they can get somebody of Neves' Premiership experience, that's most important, Premiership experience for that price, then I say we go and get him. But my whole issue is we seem to be linked with, it's normal Manchester United. Every 2 hours we're linked with somebody else. The fact that we're being linked with a central midfielder, I'm happy with, but let's be honest, tomorrow we're going to be linked with somebody else. The day after we're going to be linked with somebody else. Why? Because it's clickbait. Man United linked with this person, Man United linked with that person. So I want something concrete. I want somebody of standing to say that we are in for Neves. Then all of a sudden now you start thinking, okay, then a job that he can do in midfield. In regards to him partnering the F part of the Mac, then I'm really not interested in that sort of, I'll be honest, you know, we run joke about certain players at Man United, but going forward, we can't have these players. We can't have these players playing in the big games. Have them playing in the Dibby Cup games, or the games against Norwich or whoever, you know, the low-level teams. But when it comes to a team that you have fear, or you feel that you can, you know, they've got a chance to beat you, you can't play these players. So the fact that we're looking to complete the whole team this summer, for whatever reason, centre-back, right winger, central midfielder, the fact that these are the positions that we're looking for, I'm happy. Neves, for that price, there's no issues. My thing is, we take too long to get deals done anyway. Every year we're linked with Jesus Christ and his mum, Moses and his brother. But, you know, we need to get these deals done. Do a Liverpool. You know, when they bought Fabinho, we were linked with him for 8 months. Fabinho's coming to Manchester United. Liverpool were linked with Fabinho 7 o'clock in the morning. By 7 o'clock in the evening, he'd had his medical and signed. That's how you do deals. You know, we don't need it to be all of, I think Man United like it to be all over the press. We don't need it to be all over the press, because we're still going to be happy anyway, regardless. Don't leak it. Get it done. Boom, boom, boom. Get it done. Get them signed. Get it sorted out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's go to Monzi now. Monzi, signing Neves and especially stealing them from underneath the nose of Arsenal, that they will give me some sort of encouragement of the levels we have gone this season to try and bring players in. I know Mr. B is saying about, obviously, transfer take far too long. This year is probably, since Ferguson's have left Man United, these are the quickest transfers I've ever seen.
Is he gone?
I have no idea. Is Monzi there?
Still here.
You still there? Can you? Did you hear
Mons
the
is
question,
there,
or should I repeat?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, go on.
So I was
Yeah,
saying to you.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, I missed the last bit. Say it again.
So I was saying to you is, since Sir Alex Ferguson have left the club, this is the quickest transfers or rumours that's actually, say for instance, with the Jadon Sancho, yes, it's been going on for a long time, but we've snapped it up now. We've got that over the line. Then we're now going in apparently for a centre back. Apparently that's very close. That anything could be announced next week. Then now we're going in for apparently Neves, and that's in case Paul Pogba doesn't sign a new contract. Do you think now it's sort of like snapping it away and showing sort of like clubs like Arsenal of the world that Man United now is levels above them?
Well, we're always levels above Arsenal. We're going to always be above them. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it does seem a bit better that now John Murdoch and Darren Fletcher are in, because like I think if Woodward was still there, I still think we'd be hanging about for Sancho now. But yeah, I see what you mean. We need, like Mr. B said, we need people in now. They're done, but the players know that if they hang it out a bit longer, they can either get a bigger contract at their club, the club they're at, or a bigger money for what United. It's Man United. Well, I think it's the greatest team in the world, but it's the biggest team in the world. They know how to play Man United. You know, the amount of money that we spent, like when we brought Pogba. You know, people, well, they've bought him for so and so. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna, throw money at this. But yeah, when it was still much better. The problem was when Fergie left, David Gill went with him as well. That was the problem. If David Gill was still there and Fergie left, it would have been a bit easier. But getting the Woodward the clown in didn't help us at all. But yeah, at the moment we seem to be doing all right. But with Varane deal, we just need to get it over the line. If we get that over the line within the next week, then I'll believe that we're doing stuff going forward. We're doing a lot better. But if that drags on like the Sancho deal, then we're back to square one.
Yeah. So looking at it with Man United and the signing Man United are doing now, for myself, I honestly believe, due to the protests and due to the fact is that there's so much commotion about this Super League, I honestly believe that the Glazers are now spending the money this season, but come next season, the money then will all of a sudden evaporate and there will be no money there left to spend. So, guys, if you're liking the contents, please like, please share, please subscribe, and we're going to hit some comments quickly with for Monday.
Yeah, just going through the comments again. So we've got Tony C. Hi, Tony. He says, if Neves does end up at Man United, it will be because Arsenal are hopeless in their transfer deals.
I think I know who Tony C is. Yeah, well, I think I know who Tony C is. He comes on my channel. He's top man. He's always comes with some good content. But
Welcome,
he
Tony.
is right. We are hopeless. We are hopeless. And the reason that we're hopeless in the transfer window is because we have Arteta and Edu, and they can't even convince me to sign. So I don't know how they're going to convince other players to sign. You got Patrick Vieira, who's convincing some top players to sign down the road, and we can't get no one over the line. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's all about names. Like you say, sometimes I think a lot of people are surprised that Ollie's being able to go out and get these players, because normally you need a big name player. A big manager to get these players, because players won't come in and say, like, I'm not going to play for him. Ollie can turn around and say, did you see me in the Champions League final? It helps. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but for our Mickey Mouse club at the minute, it's nothing short than Mickey Mouse club, mate. Walt Disney. It's ridiculous.
You're taking the piss out of us. Sorry. I see your styly mocking man here. What Champions League final? Europa.
No, Ollie.
It's Arsenal.
Your Ollie scored in the Champions League final.
Oh, sorry. I thought you was mocking us about last season. That's all right, man.
Calm down.
Relax yourself, man.
Going back to Dr. Phil, it looks like he's got a diagnosis. He said here that regarding Neves, he's saying he's very composed and mature, and the guy knows how to control the ball in front of the back four. His composure in front of Cody and Bowley is really good. So that's assessment from Dr. Phil.
With him saying that, like you said earlier, we don't need a defensive midfielder, because the reason we needed a defensive midfielder last year is because our back four was so crap. But if we get Veron in, you know what I mean? It'd be different. We wouldn't need a CDM. Like England didn't need 2 CDMs in the European Championship because the defence was solid. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we need a CDM.
It's an interesting point that because like I think I can compare. We remember when we played Red Bull in the last game of the group stage and we went to a back 5. I sort of compare that to what England Southgate did with going to playing a back 5 against Italy in the final when they were playing a 4 and looking all right. So I think it's a bit of a caution with the management there, you know, bit of inexperience. I would have gone with the 4. Just going back to a comment here, Jacob OC, welcome.
Welcome, Jacob.
Says, he said he liked Neves, confident on the ball and a decent age. So it's all positive for Neves in the comments here. Thank you.
And any more?
Neves here from Mark Gemini says Neves and Rice talked about, but he'd even like to look at Ndidi, which is your favorite player.
Yeah. Like Ndidi. So guys, if you're liking the content, please share, please subscribe. Thanks every single person for their comments. It's been fantastic. And we have the Man United agenda and we are on the road to 350 subscribers. So every contribution helps, guys, to take us there. Without your support, we wouldn't have a channel. So thank you all for your comments. So let's go on to the last guy we're going to talk about now, and it's João Felix, 21 years old, cost Real Atletico Madrid a whooping £114 million back in 2019. Played 76 games, and in that all competition, he scored 28 goals. There's rumours that Atletico Madrid are looking to bring back in Antonio Griezmann. So due to that, for some reason or another, they are open for discussion between Man United and Barcelona. So let's start off with Francis. Let's go to Francis first and ask Francis. Francis, as an outsider, could you see this deal happening?
Well, it's interesting because of what's going on in Spanish football at the moment. We don't have the Galacticos. We don't have this no more. Unfortunately, they made the transfer window what it was for decades. We don't have that no more. The money, has been in the Premier League for years. It's now even probably getting even more popular with the money in the Premier League, and players want to come to the Premier League like they have done, over the last decade or 15, 16 years or whatever it may be, because of the status. Now, João Felix is one hell of a player. There's not many kids like him. It's ridiculous what he can do with the ball, the positions that he picks up. I remember I was lucky enough one time to speak with Scholes, and he was saying that the best players get space, even when there's no space on a pitch. Zidane used to do it. Cruyff used to do it. And if you watch João Felix, he gets space even though there's no space. He's very, very clever. And I think a certain amount of money would get him. Now, 80 million for him is a steal. If Jadon Sancho is going for 73, 80 million for João Felix is a steal. Whether they'll go for that because they're going to lose that money, but if they can get him for that, then, people are talking about 100 million for some players who played 4 games in the Euros. So this kid, if Man United can get him, all of a sudden, as a non-Man United fan, you're looking at it and you're thinking, Man United are back. They're going back to the Alex Ferguson days. They're going back to getting big names, where everyone else gets a little bit shaky. For a couple of seasons, no one's been scared of Man United. Let's be honest. They scraped through second in a terrible COVID. It's been a little bit shambolic with Moyes and everyone that come in. Mourinho was shambolic and all this stuff. But now they like Ollie. Ollie's got a good relationship with United. The Glaziers, even though people are complaining, are now throwing a few quid in. So with the likes of players like João Felix, Sancho, Varane, for me, it's a no-brainer. If anyone can get him, then go and get him, because I think he's still only 21.
Yeah, he is.
Which is frightening. Yeah, still only 21, and he does things which you can't compare him to Messi, but he gets the ball in areas of the pitch, and you think he's not going nowhere, and then he just skips it through your legs. He just skips it through your legs, and then he's on the other side of you. So he's a top player. He's levels, as I would say. He is levels.
So let's go to Monzi in this one here. So obviously we have Francis talking about João Felix, he's got still 5 years left on his contract because it was a long-term contract he's got. And as what Francis was talking about, I watched him a little bit last season, and you're so right in what you're talking about, the levels. Sometimes where you see him and the space he's got and the way he turns and the way he hit the ball, there's that saying what everyone always say about Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard and Paul Scholes. They're the only players in world football who could hit that ball on a 50-pence piece every time they get the ball. And his position, his sort of like directory of the ball and trajectory of the football is so brilliant. So with that, Monzi, could you see this signing happening? Could you just fraction see it happening?
I can see it happening if Pogba goes. I can see it happening because we need someone. I know people say Pogba hasn't done it and all this. Like the last 6 months, he done it, and he was, that's the player we want. The last 6 months, but was he doing that because he wanted a contract? I don't know, but yeah. So if Pogba does go, which Mr. B don't like me saying this, but it looks like he's going to go. Felix, João Felix will be good to come in, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure on Felix. I haven't really seen a lot of him, but I'll just take Francis' word for it. He knows more than me. But,
hey, listen, don't blame me. Don't blame me, mate.
Francis,
if Pogba goes, he'd fit in nice. But if Pogba stays, then we won't. I don't really. He's still I don't really seen a lot of him, but as Francis said, 80 million for someone that cost 100 and something million, that would be a steal. I just can't see it happening, but you never know, do you? You never know. It could happen, So but if Pogba does go, then it would be a great buy. But if Pogba stays, then I wouldn't want him.
Yeah. On Monday, with obviously Monzi is saying doesn't really see much of him, don't really know much about João Felix. I've seen a bit about him, but don't you think, as Man United, I class us as the biggest club in world football? If Pogba stay or Pogba go, don't you think we need squad in depth, basically, because to challenge an all front, and for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to go out there and at least try and win one trophy? Even if Pogba doesn't go, we should still go out there and still try to bring this player in, because the amount of confidence this will bring us, and this is another player, 21 years old, will bring so much confidence. I don't know what I would do. I'd go out there and buy a couple of shirts with his name on the back of it. I have to, man. Come on. I think we're winning the title if that's happened. Come on.
Yeah. No, I agree with what Francis said. I think he's top draw, a proper baller. He reminds me of Sergio Aguero. Maybe not as goal scoring wise, but his body structure, his frame, his balance, the way he receives the ball, and drives at guys and squares them up. He's talented. He's a forward. He's a false nine forward. It's more central.
He can play wide left, right,
playing off the striker sort of guy. I've always liked him. Remember him at Benfica. Thought, he's the next big thing. And I was really surprised when Atletico Madrid spent that amount of money on him, and you'd think that would secure him for many years. But there must be something going on. I think Griezmann, with the incident that he has to get rid of. So there's a lot of business deals going on. I don't like to speculate about things like this. I would never have dreamed of getting him. But now you guys are teasing me. I'm playing formations in my mind. I'm thinking, well, maybe we could bring him in and slip him in here and get my board out and
Can he play in goal?
Well, you know what I mean?
No,
we're going to start calling us Wolves or something, because we're buying all these Neves and Bruno and all these Portuguese players. But he is another one. If we get him, secure him for a long time, trust me, he'll be a baller, and he will work in the Premiership because he's got all the ability. And I think it's like the Premiership changing, like Francis was saying. We are getting players. We used to get Shevchenko old, George Ware when he's old, Ruud Gullit when he was old. Now we're getting players in their prime when they're about to blow up. So all fair, good news for the Prem, and good news for Man United for being linked to them.
Yeah,
good point, Solo. What you was talking about. Sorry for butting in, but what you was talking about is, Man United. A lot of people say greatest club in the world, etc. If you look at City, they probably have two world-class players or close to world-class in every single position. That's what Man United need to go. So even if you do keep Pogba, which I don't think is world class, but Mr. B and Anomaly will try and kill me again. But you also need someone else. You always need someone else. If you've got a top right back, you need another right back. If you've got a top left back, if you want to be dominant in world football, and that's what City have tried to do, and they keep trying. So if you can have two world class players, and the players understand the rotational system, then that's the level. So for me, you need as many top players as you can in the door.
Yeah, but I just don't think Ollie can. I don't think Ollie can keep them happy. Like Ferguson could keep them happy. I don't think Ollie's got. I don't think Ollie's got that yet. Where Guardiola could keep happy. Ferguson used to say, "Oh, I'm dropping you this week, but I need you for the next game we're going to start." You know what I mean? And he'd always get in your head, sort of thing. I don't think Ollie's got that. But if Ollie gets that, then fair enough. But I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah.
I'm going to sit there and I'm going to go on side with Francis here. I'm siding for an Arsenal fan at the moment. With it, Francis, I honestly believe what you're saying about obviously having a different player in each position. And it's for Man United to get back to the glory days. And I know what Monzi's saying. He doesn't think Ole has got what it takes. But I honestly believe now, if we're going out and we're spending the cash and we're bringing in the cash, some of these players have been told already to say, right, guys, we're bringing a squad of players and it's going to be a rotation system. And this is how we're going to do it for us to get back to that level playing field where we're challenging for Champions League, FA Cup, leagues and everything else throughout, for every single person to buy into the system and buy into what we're doing right now. Because we can't have fringe players. Like we got a good 11, but then on the bench, you look on the bench and we got one or two injuries shaking out. Oh my, who's going to come on today? At least with your rotation, you can bring one defender and say, a defender got injured, centre back got injured. You know exactly what centre back. You know that centre back is level. It has the same centre back who's dropping out. So again, with that, Francis, I'm agreeing with you there. Mr. B, you're sitting there silent. Francis is upsetting you at the moment with this whole thing with oh, he's gone now. I come to you. He knows you're coming for him about getting rid of So,
Lost you there.
Francis is there. We like speculation things, but would you think this would be a great time for United?
Yeah, I think I've lost you. I think I've got you back now. I think I've just got you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Who's gone? Is it me or is it Solo?
It's Mr. B.
Is that me? Right, I didn't hear the question. All I heard was.
Yeah, I lost you. We've lost him again, though.
He's gone.
All right,
he's
Mr. B. Mr. B is asking about João Felix. Just if you want to add to anything to that, what we're saying about João Felix, does he fit into our system? Have you seen him play? What do you think of him as a player going forward for Man United?
I haven't seen him play. I'll be honest. I've been ignorant to Atletico Madrid football, so I don't know what he plays like. What I did hear, and I have been hearing, is he is actually unhappy with the role that he is being asked to play at Atletico Madrid. He's an offensive player, and we all know that Simeone is only interested in defense. So I know he feels that it's curtailing his game. That was the little bits that I have actually heard. The fact is, again, we're being linked with these players. It's if Pogba goes, if this happens, if that happens.
When Pogba
what we
goes.
need to do, all right, you know what, it is going to be. I agree, especially after today. It is going to be when he goes. I do not trust Manchester United to get that deal done. I'll be really, really honest. We take so long to do everything anyway. All their eggs are in the Paul Pogba stay-in basket, to me. If they have to sell him, I don't think they have a clue, one, who to replace him with, or what they're going to do moving forward. I think they would rather he stayed for a year and left on a free. And then maybe they hope that, the team might do something, or we be challenging where he has a change of mind. But really and truly, those players are elite players. Are we? All right, Sol always says we are the biggest club in the world. I understand. We haven't won the league for how long? So let's be honest. we think we're the biggest club in the world, but will João Felix think we're the biggest club in the world? Will whoever else is coming think we're the biggest club in the world? Right now, we're not winning enough things. We've got the badge, we've got this beautiful red shirt, we've got all of this fans, all of this history, but we need to start winning things. Let's be honest. We need to start winning things for us to attract these players. Players want to come to teams of winners. And right now, we're not a team of winners. We can be, and we should have been last season, let's be honest. But we weren't, and we're not. So what are we offering? What are we offering João Felix? Wages.
I think, to be honest, I think if João Felix is available, that's going to alert City. He would fit straight into the way that they play. He would be awesome in the City team. So for me, if United are linked with him, that's definitely going to get Man City interested. I would think so. There's apparently they want to get rid of Silva. I mean, Arsenal have been linked with Silva today. Another player. You know what I mean? No chance he's going to. He get the ball. He'd be thinking, who am I supposed to pass to? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, João Felix for me, if he's going to come to the Prem, I'd be very surprised if he didn't go City. Even though nothing's been said yet, I would be very surprised if he didn't go City. But Solo's saying the way Atletico play, you can't be flair. You can't really be forward thinking. Because Simeone doesn't have it. It's quite negative. So I can understand why he's unhappy.
Yeah. Also, Mr. B, I'm going to go on to that point, and I think I said it earlier in the show. I know Man United have been linked with a lot of players, and if Paul Pogba go and if Paul Pogba stay, but for me, I would rather Paul Pogba stay and we go out and we buy him as well on top of what we've got now to have strength and depth within the squad. That's my thing, because right now we do not have squad. We do not have squad or depth within the squad. We don't have it, physically don't have it. So how are we going to go out and win trophies and win titles if we don't have it? So we need it. So that's the reason I will go out there. If Paul Pogba stay, if Paul Pogba go, whatever, what Paul Pogba does, what Paul Pogba want to do. Sorry, Big Phil out there as well, yeah. But we need extra player of quality, world-class players. And from a player who was costing 114 million to 80 or whatever million, let's go out, let's go buy him. Don't worry about where he's going to fit in. Just get him in.
You forget Man United don't like spending money. you man's talking like this is like a computer game, bruv. We're not doing that. Free players. We're going to bring free players in. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be free. And we're not going to sell nobody. Matic, that old dead man with one leg, is still there. Mata, who is at the club to give the young kids experience. Woo! The only experience they're going to get is playing on the bloody pitch. You know what I mean? We've got all these old cheerleaders at the club. Get rid of them and give these younger players their bloody legs. You know what I mean? Right now, what is he scared? I don't understand. We're being linked with all, and we're not selling nobody. Jesse Lingard is still cucking up himself in a new Manchester United training kit. Is somebody taking the piss out of us?
To be fair, though, Jesse Lingard, after his performance for West Ham,
you bring him back.
If Jesse Lingard's at West Ham, people are saying, "Oh, he's worth 80 million for what he did last year." So for me, that's a great signing. That's a great signing to re-sign him. I think it gives you something you ain't already got. That's from an outside.
Francis, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. We had him at the club.
And he was good.
Ollie chose not to play him. He chose not to play him and to loan him out. Yeah. So why are you then going to take him out? Bruno played every single minute of every game till Bruno was panting like one of Monday's dogs today. You understand? So he flogged him to death. So what's he gonna do now? Not play him in certain games. Ollie doesn't have that. Them man, they are bigger than Ollie. Look, listen, Solo. I used to cuff Solo for saying that. It used to burn me when he said Fernandes said what Ollie's saying. Fernandes chooses when to play. I used to want to slap him, but you know what? It's true. Fernandes played every game. So what, is Ollie now going to have the balls to say, all right, then, you're not going to play this game, or there's going to be 20 minutes of the game left. We've done nothing, and then he's going to bring on Lingard. I don't think he trusts Lingard that much.
Maybe. I mean, he's clearly, to be fair to him, the good side of obviously Ollie that he's shown is he's not a manager who is burying his head in the sand and being, having an ego about it. He clearly thought, I made a mistake here, and he will be very useful for me next season. How he uses him, I'm not sure. But I just think he made a mistake of letting him go and freezing him out.
Yeah.
Because before Jesse Lingard was one of your best players, he weren't playing. You didn't have a third man running. He goes to West Ham. He proves about the third man running. He signs a new deal. And guaranteed next year, he'll be your only third man running.
Yeah.
So for me, Ollie's thought, I made a mistake. Fair play to him.
Also,
that's what I think.
With the 80 million price tag you're saying as well, I think if I was right to say, with the stats that he had at the end of the season last season for West Ham,
I agree with that.
He was one of the
Ollie
highest.
Southgate.
He was one of the highest ranked players in Europe. With the stats he came away with West Ham. Also, Mr. B, you got to remember, he went through a lot of problems at Old Trafford. That's the reason why Ole weren't playing him. He was on garden leave, as whatever you call it, because of the issues was behind the scene with him.
So what his issues are gone? So what is it?
Well, with mental,
his issues are gone?
No, but he had mental problems. That's the reason why he
No,
stepped away.
I understand. I understand that. I understand there was issues, family issues. You know, he's got a little one. I understand all of that. Do you know how much money he earns? He could buy a creche to look after. He could buy a creche to look after his little one.
Yeah, but Mr. B, listen, it don't matter how much money you earn.
If you're going through mental problems, you're going through mental problems.
If you're not strong enough as an individual, or you've not developed self-development skills to cope with traumas, to cope with hurdles, to cope with obstacles, it don't matter how much money you got.
Okay, so are his problems sorted out now? Did they sort out with him going to West Ham? This is my issue. His problems. You understand? I don't know what they were. But I'm just thinking right now, it just seems to be a lot of. I just don't think Ollie has the balls to tell a man to piss off.
You know what, guys? You know, I like Jesse Lingard. Like you said, he's a bit unique with his running and what the energy he brings. But I think we should be using him as a bargaining chip. Maybe that's why I think he's there. I can't understand why he hasn't gone yet. And I think he's like as a bartering tool for one of these bigger players, because he is, while he's hot, had a good season in the Prem, good numbers. We should actually get rid of him because, like I say, I don't think he's going to go back to type and his confidence. It's all about confidence. He seems like a confidence player. When he's playing, he's wanted at West Ham. You see how he performs, but he's not going to get that same sort of game time at Man United.
I'm going to say, before we cut the show, I'm going to go through some comments. But if Jesse Lingard stay at Man United, you watch next season what he's going to bring. Him, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, and Greenwood. Watch them guys play and flourish together. Watch them.
If he plays him, like Mr. B said, he's got to play.
The only thing Lingard will do next year is take over Lee Grant doing the subs board.
Well, listen, I've called it on the show, and I'm going to say right now, watch the guys next season. I'm admiring Jesse Lingard. I think it's.
Well, I'm not getting him on my new shirt.
I'll get him just for the case. So
you know, the dinner table is going to be the Portuguese boys, the French boys, and the English clique. You know, so going through the comments again. We had a lot of comments about João Felix. Big Phil was asking how many appearances did he make in the Euros. I think he's trying to suggest that he was probably not good enough to get in the Portugal side, but I think we disagree. He is good enough.
Yeah, well, you got to look at the England squad. Our best players didn't play for England.
There you go.
Good shout. Here's one from Anthony. He said, lads, he was in the Euro 20s England squad, but why has no one gone in for Bellingham?
Unbelievable player.
Yeah.
Didn't
he turn us down before he went to Dortmund?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Gemma talking about being a championship side. Because since Liverpool won the league, they think they could be talking about how to win the title to us. But anyway, she's saying, you need a good bench, like Manchester City and Chelsea are catching up as well, so beware. João Felix is from Big Phil saying he'd save the João Felix money for next season and try and get Haaland in for Manchester United.
Good call.
Which is a good suggestion. Let's go through. They're liking your comment. 3 people are liking your comment there, Mr. B.
Thank you. SB.
Spitting knowledge again. Here we go. Simeone. This is from Mr. Big Phil. Says Simeone is a little defensive, but not like Jose Mourinho defensive. Simeone has gotten the best out of Falco, whereas David Villa, Diego Costa, and Griezmann.
It's a good point, you know.
And Mark Gemini says Jesse's on Deli Ali. That's and James is saying, yeah, Jesse does well when the pressure's off him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
Barbados Phil says Lingard needs to go. He's spoiled milk, and there are better players out there. Why is a 28-year-old going on loan from Manchester United? I think this is the point they were agreeing with you with, Mr. B. And Tony C says it's hard to get rid of deadwood players because any club coming in for them cannot afford to pay the wages they're currently on, and unless the player is willing to take a pay cut, it can't happen. That's a good point. And
I'd like to know who give all these people these contracts, because he must be earning quite a bit of money. Do you know what I mean? Phil Jones getting a new 4-year contract.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? His agent must be laughing all the way at the bank.
And here's the last question. Comment. There's a couple here from a Chelsea fan. It says, "Good evening, lads. Just he's new to the channel. How you doing? Is it Jiv?
Hello,
Yeah,
Jiv.
Thanks for subscribing.
Thanks for subbing. Appreciate it.
Hope's all well. He's safe, and he's a Chelsea fan. Don't be sorry. It's okay.
Don't be sorry.
We love the rivalry. And here he goes again. He says, "I speaks a lot that the manager is being spoke of before the season started. Shows much of a split, and worry that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer fails with this squad." So there's a few question marks. Because if you look at the top 4 or 5 managers, or top 4 or 5 teams, they've got probably better managers than Man United.
Just cool.
Okay, Josh. Greetings, Josh. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome. Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you. But Josh,
follow us on Twitter.
With that, we're on Twitter as well, as what Monzi will say. You can follow us on the Man United agenda. Okay. So, guys, absolutely brilliant. The show has run over because we spoke about Jesse Lingard quite a lot. But if you're liking the contents, like what Josh has done for us, he's subscribed to us. So thank you so much for all the comments and all the interaction. Also, we're going to go to Francis and ask Francis where we can find him.
Yeah, you can just find me on YouTube at the moment. Obviously, FFTV, that's where I'm at. Give you a little bit of content from a different point of view. Obviously, being an ex-player, agent, and pundit, it always helps to give a little bit of an insight. And on Twitter, I'm just Franny Green 6. Very simple. Franny Green 6 and FFTV. That's me.
Thank you very much. And we shall see you in about 2 weeks' time again. So, guys,
can I just ask? Franny was a striker. Was 6 your squad number? What's going on here?
No, you know what? It's because I've got my wife and 4 children. So there's 6 of us. So there's 6.
Big respect, Franny. Big respect.
Thank you, guys. And thanks, everyone, for watching, sharing, liking, subscribe. Without you, this channel wouldn't be up to the numbers it's up to now. So we really appreciate all the support, guys. So thank you very much and have a lovely evening. And we'll be back on Sunday for the reaction show for the friendly.